Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I'm Monica. Today we are diving into Piscean energy. I'm kind of slowly disseminating this information bit by bit. I have been talking on my channel a lot lately about some of my medical illnesses. I will say this morning I am much stronger than I have been. I spent much of my day yesterday in and out of sleep. I imagine I'm going to be doing that a lot more and more lately. These sign readings that I'm doing this round, these plutonic lessons, I suspect will be my last readings in this life. Perhaps not. Perhaps I am off base. Perhaps I am wrong. But sometimes the spirit just knows. I've been sick for several months. It is progressively, rapidly getting worse. And so I wanted to spend some of my last times in this world with all of you, because you guys have impacted me so greatly. Oh, Pisces, you guys have me in my feels. Shit. Okay. I have a bone marrow biopsy coming up. The doctors are suspecting that I have a form of leukemia or lymphoma. That's very aggressive. I am someone who cannot use traditional medicine or modern medicine because it is incredibly toxic for my body. So my treatment options are nothing but spirit. So without further ado, Pisces, you guys are the ones where I let the cat out of the bag. I haven't let any other sign or very many other people know where I'm at right now. So thanks for holding space. I always have a very soft spot for Piscean energy, with being, very 12th house dominated. So thank you guys. Let's get into this reading, because this is not about me. This is for you guys. It is about me. It's about me in the sense that I love doing this. I love doing this, and it gives to me. But this reading is about the soul lessons that we've been learning through Pluto traveling through Capricorn. And Pluto traveling through Capricorn, for you Pisces, the message, the original card that we got is the Hunter. And normally, I'm just going to kind of give some of my backstory here. So normally when I have an indicator card, such as this one, the Hunter, I'll read the book, channel some messages, and tap into the energies, and just kind of flow with that, see what the images and everything come up. That does take up a lot of energy. It does. And when I'm at my peak, it really doesn't seem like a lot. It's like a drop in the bucket. But as it stands right now, there are times where literally getting up and shifting in bed is exhausting. It is tiring. It's hard for me to do. There are times where all I can really do is sit and stare into nothingness. So Spirit is helping me to kind of navigate through this energy in a new way. And I think it's kind of beautiful, honestly, because when I think of the Hunter, I think of the story of how Pisces came into being as a constellation. Because it was in mythology, when Typhon was waging war against Olympus, and Venus went back to get Cupid, her son, transformed into fish to save them, but they were the prey. They were the prey. And she risked everything just to go back to save her child. And it was the koi fish who hid them. And that's why they were forever immortalized as a koi fish. Pisces isn't about sacrifice. It's not about the greater all. It's about the love that we have and that we share and that we are willing to sacrifice everything for. Whether it's a parent or a child or between two people or just for you and your own spirit or you and spirit yourself. Piscean energy, the sacrifice itself is not really a sacrifice because it's love. And is love really a sacrifice, guys? Now, I ask these things because with this hunter energy, it was a 27 reducing down to a 9, and this is how my brain works. So obviously I'm not obviously, I apologize. That sounded kind of condescending. I didn't mean for that. That was me talking to my own brain more than anything. With a number 9 energy, like when you're reducing numbers down and you look at it, this is so weird. I'm hearing piece it apart and put it back together. So if we piece it apart, we've got 27, 2 and a 7. That's the high priestess and the chariot card. So then we've got the moon in Cancer. So maybe some of you guys have the moon in Cancer. Maybe this is asking you to think about what it means to you to have the moon in Cancer. If the moon is in Cancer, the moon is dominant. It means the energy is dominant. That means the energy is far more potent and powerful. But usually when the moon is in Cancer, the moon can go out of bounds. And when the moon is out of bounds, and it doesn't follow any rules. And that is where we come into this hunter energy. When we think about sacrifice, we think about giving things up. Sometimes a sacrifice is welcoming things in. For me, a sacrifice right now is to be honest about my health. It's a sacrifice because I keep things very close to my chest these days, very private. I learned a really hard lesson when I worked with a couple of other tarot readers. And I don't want to name names. I know a lot of people already know the one that I'm talking about. I don't hold any ill will towards her, but she taught me some really valuable lessons in the area of privacy and trust and just not automatically allowing myself to see the best in people. She taught me how to see the darkness inside of other people, and she did it by showing me her own darkness. And I'm forever grateful to her for that. Sometimes we go through these things and we don't realize that what the sacrifice is letting down the boundaries again. What the sacrifice is letting down that guard and letting somebody in. So that is a sacrifice to me to sit here and talk to you guys about this stuff. Because this is a heavy time in my life. It's a hard time in my life. But where would I be if I didn't open myself up and stand on my truths and stand in my values? Pisces, this energy, this hunter energy for you. When we go through these really long generational changes and phases in our lives, it can seem like we're not making any progress, and then it can seem like we're making massive progress, and then it can, it's chaos. Let's just point blank this shit. It's chaos. That's what we're working with, is chaos. Everybody thinks it's Uranus, but it's not just Uranus. Pluto brings a special kind of chaos because everybody misconstrues Pluto all the time. All the time. I think that's why I resonate so much with Pluto energy. But these messages, the message that I got for the collective overall is she who walks in height and depth, healing the soul and collective debt. Pluto is a cleanup crew for collective debt. That's why I am fully comfortable talking about that one tarot reader that one time who just annihilated me. And she did it well. She did it so well. She kamikazed the crap out of my role in the tarot community. She really hit me where it hurt. I mean, she knew a weakness and she went for it. I mean, that's what you call a hunter. That is what you call a hunter. She literally just went at it. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I don't want to say, but man, some people are just really good at what they do. Some people are just really good at hunting. They're really good at destruction. And then they play themselves off in a certain light. And it's amazing to me. And I feel like I have the right to say these things now because, well, what's the point? Why do we hold on? Why do we hide truths? Why do we hide truths? Pisces, that has been a challenge. I feel like that has been your biggest challenge with this Capricorn journey. Because I've got some tea. Okay, so I'm keeping my face off of camera because number one, I'm an insecure person. I really am quite, I suffer from body dysmorphia. I have my whole life. But I was at peak condition when I started getting sick about 6 months ago. And I now have issues with my heart and with my kidneys. And my blood is so thick that it is backing up. And so my face is incredibly, incredibly swollen. And I was joking just last night with my husband. I was like, why couldn't I have gotten the cancer where like I lose weight instead of looking like an Oompa Loompa? Because my face is just so round right now. I don't know why I'm telling you, I don't know. I just feel like no holds barred anymore. So I'm drinking tea because it's really good to help with circulation. That was the whole gist of this thing. Okay, so she who walks in height and depth, healing the soul and collective debt. You're a very soft, very gentle energy most of the time, Pisces. And I know that there are some people who just simply don't like Piscean energy because you guys are so deeply compassionate that it can get overwhelming. And I say that out of love and understanding because I'm Piscean dominated. But as I was preparing for your reading, and even still now, I can hear it in my head. I was hearing, I'd rather be the hunter than the prey. Of song lyrics. And then it shifted to, I'm standing on the edge of the cliff face up because you're a natural. Now I'm fairly certain these aren't the exact lyrics. Because I didn't look it up, but the standing on the edge of the cliff face up. We think of a cliff face, but then it was like the cliff face is facing up and you're standing on the face of the cliff, which means that you're already over the cliff. But the image I'm getting, like if the face up and you're standing on the face, then you're already over the cliff because the cliff face is actually the part of the cliff that faces the ocean. In this imagery, it might not be scientifically, guys, but like I'm going with spirit here. So these are lyrics relating to the song Natural by Imagine Dragons, but there was also an allusion in the energy to the song Radioactive, which is not connected to any of these lyrics, nor to the melody going through my head. But they're not, and that was the thing, is in the energy field, they're linked. But logically, they don't connect. And then I got dragons and fae and mystical creatures. And then what have you been fighting for, Pisces? Not fighting against, but fighting for. What have you been fighting for? And that I found really interesting because we started with, I'd rather be the hunter than the prey. And your key energy here is the hunter. So you're learning how to move and operate in a different way, but your natural instinct is still going to be to save everyone. It's the natural way of Piscean energy. Save first, ask questions later. But you have to start thinking like the hunter in order to be able to do that. And the hunter does not think about the ramifications upon another for hitting the target. It thinks about what it needs in that moment. And this, Pisces, is one of the greatest lessons that me personally, that I can tell you. One of the things that I am learning right now is that I was not able to properly prioritize the needs that I have physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And it was a contributing factor to me getting sick. Dis-ease is a very real thing. And I can't undo the damage that has been done. My body is very broken. But it doesn't mean that I can't share the lessons that I have, the wisdom. Sometimes you are called into the hunter energy, and it can be uncomfortable because you are a soft and gentle person by nature, and the world is asking you to be hard. They're not asking you to be hard and harsh or mean or vindictive or cruel. They're asking you to take aim at what you need, what you want, what you're fighting for in this life, and then prioritize those things first and foremost above another person, above another place, above everything else, because your spirit needs it. I preach about the individual, and I do that for a reason. Each individual is unique, and without the individual, the whole would not matter. I don't know how the whole is going to be when I'm gone, but I hope that my little image, my little snapshot in the mosaic of humanity will be solidified enough to be a beacon for you all to stand in this power, because Pluto doesn't teach these lessons for no reason. Pluto does nothing for no reason. More often than not, Pluto's reason is for our growth, for our ascension, for our awareness. So let's get a look in a little bit deeper, Pisces. These readings, I tell you what, I didn't expect any of these readings to be what they are. I'm here for it. I appreciate it. We're just going to kind of go over, and I know that this is kind of melee and whatever. Like, I usually am somebody who is very aesthetically to the point. I care less about the image and more about the messages at this point. Whatever it is that needs to channel through me needs to come out and get through me and get to you guys. I can feel it. So each of these are tarot cards here, the blue ones. Each of the tarot cards are correlating to critical degrees of the journey for Pluto through Capricorn. Capricorn, as a cardinal sign, has two primary critical degrees. That's the 13th and the 26th. But I'm also including the same critical degrees that every sign has, which is the 0 degree, the very beginning, and the 29th degree, or the energetic. Now, the 29th degree is a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Sometimes it can be a catch-22 degree. It can be a magical degree, and that can go either way, whichever way the tide turns, or whichever way we turn the tide. That energetic degree is how it's going to come out. We can see it and perceive it in a positive way, or we can see it and perceive it as a negative way. Traditionally, people see the energetic degree as very unlucky. I see it as the optimum place for utter transformation. Pluto is sitting in my 6th house of health in Capricorn at the 29th degree, right conjuncting my Iris, messenger of the gods, amongst a couple other placements, but still. Ever since Pluto entered into this sign is when I got sick. Pluto exiting was always going to be this. So Pluto does not mess around, guys. Pluto doesn't mess around. It's transform or die time. We're going to take a look. The 0 degree, we're going to start 0, 29. This is the beginning of a generational change. And then this is where the energy starts building. That's that 13th degree. The 26th degree is the point of inner transitioning. Now, I am very fond of the 26th degree time frame because it was in 2022, which is when I wrote all my guidebooks. And you can check those out if you want to read it. It's on Amazon. It's Pluto Retrograde Guidebook of 2022. Never did write any further than those. I intended to do them every year, but man, when you get sick, you just can't. And then finally, we have the transformational death has come. And yes, guys, I did definitely structure this surrounding the energy going on in my life. It makes it easier for me to channel through in that way. Now, these 3 down here, these are guidance for integration. allowing death to be the guide to the new on the other side. Whatever that means, it doesn't have to be the same as mine. In fact, I really hope it's not for most of you, for all of you. But we have the Rooted Woman, the Secrets of the Ancestors, I think is what it's called. The Rooted Woman, let me see. The Rooted Woman, the Secrets of the Ancestors Oracle, and the Priestess of Light Oracle. Very blues, very greens, very earthy tones. We are working with, letting our voice free, letting our heart free, learning how to speak from the heart, even when it sounds harsh. All right, let's find out what this beginning was for you guys. Frozen. I'm fairly certain that we are going on a journey that is exactly what my life has been lately, and Spirit just wants me to tell my story to all of the signs in succession. So we're going to go with that. So the beginning of this journey is frozen. At one point in time, whether it was centuries or millennia or even just a day, at one point in time, life was, it's not stuck, it's not stagnant, it's frozen. Being frozen is a completely different ballpark than being stuck. When you're stuck, you know you're stuck, but when you're frozen, you're in a state of stasis. You're in this state of limbo where you don't even realize that you have the power within you to thaw out. You think that you're stuck exactly where you're at. You can't hunt anything. You can't fight for anything. You can't see anything. You can't do anything when you're in this frozen state. So Pluto's lesson started on you at some point in your life when everything was just icy cold and frozen. You may have felt as though even your very own heart was frozen. I've been there. Back in 2023 was the first time that I actually learned what it meant to be in a freeze response with PTSD. I was so used to fight or flight my whole life that when I went into freeze mode, I didn't know what to do because I'd never experienced it before. My grandma had died, my mom had cancer, and all of a sudden my life just didn't make sense and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't create, I couldn't write, I couldn't do anything. I was still here trying to make videos and I still, the struggle that it was, you guys never saw, but it was so difficult for me because I was frozen by the pain and the anguish and the confusion and the loss of direction and the loss of stability. Pluto loves these things for our lives. These energies that we get into where we feel like there's nothing else, that's where Pluto excels in our life. Let's find out how that energy built up. Departure. Guys, I'm telling you, this is literally a collective theme. Or it's just a theme on this channel. Departure. It's walking away. This is my nature will out card. Because you see, the bird has the leaf, and that means that it's going to build its nest elsewhere. It's going to be fine. It's going to leave. It may be frozen, but you know what? I'm ready to go. And we can look at the broken pieces, like this broken tree on the departure card. We can look at the broken pieces and think, what a tragedy, what a loss. But that's not the case because, and I've been saying this, I'll continue, nature finds a way. Nature will always find a way. I was watching some videos. I think it was Sandra Ingerman. I'm watching a lot of Sandra Ingerman stuff. And she was talking about how Mother Earth views us. What bravado humanity has, thinking, oh, we've got to rescue her. She barely even notices we're here. We exist in a blink of an eye to her. We think that we're doing this and doing that and whatever. And yeah, we're causing climate changes. But nature is so much more powerful, majestic, and completely on its own aware and capable of handling everything. What we can't handle is the shit that we do to the planet. So when we say that we're destroying the planet, what we're really doing is we're destroying its hospitability for humanity's sake. But when the time comes for us to go, this world will still be here until the world doesn't need to be here anymore. And then when the world reaches the end of its life cycle, it's going to explode. It's going to explode into 1,000 million billion pieces of stardust and travel out into the cosmos, find a new place, and pop up a new world. It's just an imagery that I keep getting. So the pressure that you feel is to walk away, to let it go, to let it flow, to go back to nature, to do whatever, to rebuild somewhere else. It's to just let go. Man, but that can be hard. That can be hard. So I want to know how this shifted your internal wisdom keeper. It shifted your internal because now you understand. Now you understand. I've always learned my greatest lessons through the harder times, through the hardships and the trials and the tribulations, through the pressure internally. We all have wisdom within ourselves. We carry it. It's about what we do with it. So the question is what are you going to do? This is a transformational death. Support. I tell you guys what, my God. I don't know how this is happening, but Spirit is linking everything together just in succession with other cards, other signs, their energies, even my own personal readings. Everything is so connected. It's outrageous. It's realizing that you can love yourself, that you can support yourself, but that you are also loved and supported by the universe. And if you guys can hear, I am getting tired. Yes. It's been a lot. When we are asked to move forward, to share our wisdom, to what are you fighting for? When you're asked to look at what you're fighting for, Pisces, you're fighting to know that you're supported. This reminds me so much of that Piscean story of Venus going back to save her son, going back to rescue. Sometimes it's not about us going back to rescue, but us going back to meet in the middle, to remember that there is love and to remember that we are all capable of saving ourselves. You have more support than you realize in your life. All right, let's get you guys your final guidance for integration. I was sitting here looking at the numbers and just kind of waiting for anything else to come in, but there wasn't anything. These are very interesting readings. I rewatched the Sagittarius reading. To me, it doesn't make any sense. Everything feels very piecemeal, very, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a cohesive story. I don't know. We've got shape-shifting with 14. I'm hearing Swan Lake. Interesting. And then we have Creature of Water with creative expression. This is so fucking beautiful. Oh, these cards just get me. And we've got 29, which reduces to an 11. And 36, another 9, duality. Many meanings and misunderstanding. See, this is that frozen energy. This is interesting. I feel like there are a lot of messages here, but that none of them are for me to give to you. But there's something here in this duality. I get like that Macbeth feel, which one would think I would get in a Hamlet, maybe? Skull. But I get a Macbeth feel. It's interesting. I'd rather be the hunter than the prey. What are the meanings to that? What are the meanings of self-expression? What are the meanings of Swan Lake? What does support mean to you? What does truth mean to you? What does divinity mean to you? What does life mean to you? What are you fighting for, Pisces? Interesting. All right, Pisces, this is the message I have for you. And I hope it resonated. I guess I'll find out. I want to take this time to say thank you for being here. Thank you to your guides, to my guides. Thank you to the Great Spirit, the ancestors, the cosmic wisdom messengers up in the sky, and our professors teaching us. Thank you, Divine Creator. Thank you for bringing us all here together. And thank you for affording me the strength to navigate through a message like this. All right, Pisces, I love you all. I will see you at my next reading. Bye.